How we describe what we do at SaskAbilities has changed over the decades. However, our hopes for the future, our vision has not. It's always been about inclusion. Since 1950, our Saskatchewan Prairie spirit has served us well as we focused and continue to do so on relationships, communities, and interdependence. Simply, all of us, including people experiencing disability, wish to live our lives as we choose. This is a universal aspiration, and SaskAbilities, through our vision, will remain true to this desire for years to come. In 1949, families came together with a heartfelt hope, better life for their children. Thus, in 1950, the Saskatchewan Council for Crippled Children was formed. Did these families realize the legacy they would leave for generations to come? I'm so proud of how everyone at SaskAbilities has remained committed to their vision of a better future for people of all abilities.
My late husband, Ian Buckbold, and his father, Alvin Buckbold, they were passionate about SaskAbilities because Ian's dad was a pediatrician. And I think he saw many patients with disabilities, and he wanted them to have the experience of being able to go to a camp like any other child and enjoy being in the outdoors and just having a good time with their peers. So I love the quote that is in the Steps of Freedom, the SaskAbilities history book. It says, Dr. Alvin Buckbold was first a doctor, second a humanitarian, and thirdly dedicated to the Sask Council for Crippled Children and Adults.
My dad was Ian Buckbold and my grandfather was Dr. Alvin Buckbold. My dad always spoke highly of his summers at Camp Easter Seal, and when I told him that I was thinking of going, he pushed me very hard to go, and it was one of the best summers I had as well.
I think Ian is looking down at us and saying, good for you. Keep going.
I'm a former board member for SaskAbilities, former camper, camp counselor, camp director, and staff member at SaskAbilities. My parents, Lyle and Elaine Spence, back in the 60s, started the Saskatchewan Hemophilia Society because I was a hemophiliac, and there were really no programs or services in those days. So my parents started the Saskatchewan Hemophilia Society with other parents, and as time went on with that organization, Dr. Alvin Buckbold was the medical director for at that time, Sask Council for Crippled Children and Adults, and he also treated most of the hemophiliacs in the province. That's where it sort of started, and then from that, my father went on to the board of directors for SaskAbilities. My sister later on was also on the board of directors. I think she was on for probably about 6-7 years. She had also worked at camp one summer, and actually my sister-in-law worked at camp one summer as well. So there was quite a bit of family involvement. My brother always said he was the only one. He had to stay home and farm. When I first started at camp, they had what they called bunny buses, because of course Easter Seals, it was bunny buses. They were old bread trucks, and they had at the back of the truck, the double doors that open, a ramp folded out. They'd roll people up that ramp, and then they were strapped in along the sides of the bus. Well, that ramp was like a foot off the ground, and it was only about 6 feet long. So, I mean, those drivers had to be really strong to get those people in and out of those vehicles. Later on, then, of course, as technology progressed, they got buses with lifts. Then they got public transit, which we ran for many years in Saskatoon and Regina and in Swift Current, Yorkton. That allowed people with disabilities to get out in the community. So by going to a regional organizational structure, I think it worked much better in terms of being responsive. It's a place near your home for people who require services, don't have to travel so far, don't have to leave, say, Swift Current, go to Saskatoon or Regina for service. I mean, the local communities are really big on their support of our branches, and to see that we're still focusing on the client, the individual, and individual programming, and creating opportunities for people. If I have anything I'm really proud of, is that that's been maintained, that we're still doing that. About the only thing that stayed constant is that we seem to always have lots of individuals who need the service.
Long before organizations had DEI and ESG committees, there was Olga Babiash there telling stories, showing people what may have been barriers for some, and sharing stories and learning from others about how they succeeded, how they innovated, and did things that they and others and their family never thought they could do. From the story she told and from what I heard from other board members that served with her, a big part of her focus was ensuring that around the board table, the organization always focused on the abilities of the people they served and the uniqueness and the diversity that was there. She was always good at explaining that everyone is an individual, and so one size doesn't fit all, and the importance of flexibility and asking people that the organization served what works best for them, what would be most helpful, how is this working for you? And so I think it was as much of a learning experience and a contribution for her as it was for the staff and for the other people that benefited from many of the services the organization has provided over 75 years. Seeing her as a woman that used a wheelchair to get around, ran her own farm, and being a leader in this organization was pretty inspiring, and it kind of gave you a different perspective because she led by example and she showed people the way, and she never did it by trying to cause division. She did it by trying to speak to people, be respectful for people, explain, give them information. And there's many a board member that would have chauffeured her to a meeting and learned why that really plush carpet in a hotel room isn't great for someone that has mobility challenges, or things like an inch of a rise in a door can mean independence or no independence. I hope that she taught a lot of people and just showed them by her experiences that they could see and learn at their own pace and a comfort level about the importance of providing some diversity and supports as needed, and just understanding what is it people need to help get by and be independent. Because the organization isn't there to be an organization, it's there to serve people and to understand what's needed here and what's needed in a community today is going to change over time. The first 75 years have been wonderful, and I'm really excited about what great things the people that are involved with SaskAbilities are going to be able to do together across the province in the next 75 years.
SaskAbilities is a place in our community where Eric can hang out with other people who accept him for who he is, whether it be like other participants or staff. It's a safe place for him to just be his authentic self, and they accept him for that. They never hesitated. They accepted Eric and Atticus regardless. The SaskAbilities staff are very caring. They're genuine. They want to know how the participant is, not only them, but they ask about you too, how things are going. As a parent with a child with neurodiverse needs, there comes a lot of different concerns and worries. You don't trust everybody, but there you do. Yes. I had a lot of trust issues going to SaskAbilities. I learned to trust. It's not easy, but we've come a long way.
So our first appointment with SaskAbilities was great. I couldn't have asked for a better person to go along the journey with, and the person that took care of Theodore for his helmet was John. It was very smooth and seamless. John is just a whiz. He knows exactly how to fit the helmets. The helmets only take a week for them to make and get shipped to Saskatoon. It was just a really great fit right from the beginning because he had all the qualities I was looking for to help ease all that stress and whatnot after going through major surgery with our son. Just knowing that we have that that SaskAbilities to help out our son with the helmet and just being nearby it's just great.
I've never seen such an organization that's so inclusive and so understanding of people's needs. And when we got engaged, SaskAbilities was involved from the get-go.
For me, I found my purpose in life, being here, this is where I found my person, and like, it's all about going forward from here on. Like I said, this organization is next to none, and the staff are next to none.
It's just a wonderful place to be.
The first year may seem a bit off, even the second one, but once you get used to it, it's just a fantastic time, and you'll be happy that you didn't miss out on all the fantastic experiences you get to have here. For one, the accessible areas, like there's barely any place out here that's not accessible. The staff is fantastic. Year after year, they seem to just get better and better. This place has really brought something out in me, and I don't know what I would do without this place. It's only a week. Actually, not even a full week, it's 5 days, but still, feels like paradise.
With our recycling center, we run a household hazardous waste, and we run an eco center as well. I believe last year we did 497 metric tons of commercial from all the businesses and stuff in town. And then I believe it was 235 metric tons from the community within where I work. It's nice to keep people employed, and we've actually had a lot of young people experiencing disabilities that have helped us with our eco center and our compost, and just the joy in their faces to be able to come in and, wow, I get paid to do this, and it's just great.
We tend to know our clients on a very personal level, as well as how we get to know them here at the branch. So we see them out and about when we're not at work, and we have that relationship as well. It makes us closer to the clients and gives that closer relationship. I think that we've been able to show that clients can access the community just like everybody else and enjoy the community activities just like everybody else. We're finding that we're being invited to lots of different activities and being asked to volunteer and be a part of our community more so now than ever.
Partners, staff are absolutely amazing. You get to know the folks. What is it that you want to do? How are we going to get you there? Ever since I started, they have been so innovative as far as what programs do people facing barriers or disabilities want and need in the community? Just different people that are needing different things, and what programs can we bring so we can assist people with whatever that goal is. I love it here. I love being with the people. We have a great staff. We have a solid team. We help each other out, and if we're having a bad day, there's somebody always to help you out and have your back.
I'm 31 years old, and I have a rare disorder called FOP, fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. It's a 1 in a million disorder that causes muscles and ligaments to turn into bone by the way of flare-ups. When I get up in the morning, I sit in my chair, and I sit in my chair all day, which I don't think people really realize. My power wheelchair is amazing, and it's my everything. It's my chair at the table. It's my couch sitting in the living room. It's my seat in the van. Anything off the shelf it doesn't work. So that's where SaskAbilities comes into play, and they kind of brainstorm and see what they can come up with to make it more comfortable. And they do all the adjustments so that they can make the chair comfortable instead of living an uncomfortable life. The team's amazing. They're the best of the business. I don't know. I feel like anyone who comes here and knows about SaskAbilities, I feel like we'd be lost without them.
Congratulations to everyone at SaskAbilities for 75 years of such an incredible service to Saskatchewan people. I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude for the work that you do to support over 50,000 individuals each and every day of the year. We all look forward to seeing your organization continue to grow as you provide important services that enhance the lives of people that are experiencing a disability. Thank you for your contribution to making Saskatchewan a better place to live, better place to work, and to raise a family.
We're always engaged, and we're always evolving as a board and trying to be better in our governance structure and the way we give leadership to the organization. It's always how can we be better? How can we support staff better? I think we need to get away from the labels and the medical label of, oh, you have this disability. It's more about how can we support you to thrive with your disability. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your foresight in seeing what it could become. And we hope that we've continued your legacy and it's grown and evolved into an organization that you would be proud of and still continue to want to be on the board. We thank you for your impact on people experiencing disability and impact on the community. And we hope that in another 75 years it even has a greater impact, and maybe we have more provincial collaborators, so our impact and footprint is even bigger.